Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast with your host, hailing from Kokona, Wisconsin, riding a CST Tires SSI decals traveling back Yamaha YFC 450R, four-time ATV motocross national champion, number 25, Cody Jansen.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Welcome to the latest edition of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, episode 93 of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, CST Tires, in stock and available for purchase today at shop.csttires.com. I'm your host, Cody Jansen, saying hello to our more than 175,000 monthly Digging Deep listeners in all 94 total countries in which you are listening, and we have a great episode for you tonight. The most intriguing battle within ATV motocross this season was the brawl that was for that final top three podium position, and on this episode we'll talk to the two main competitors left battling each other at the conclusion of that war for the top three spot. We'll talk everything from drama and protests to great racing and respect and everything in between, including Team USA 2022 and beyond on the episode ahead with both Brandon Hoag and Bryce Ford. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. I've been waiting for this episode for too long. The wait is over, but before dropping the gate on another can't miss episode, shout out to all of our incredible partners. CST Tires, go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thanks to SSI Decals, DID Racing Chain, Namura Technologies, Bronco ATV and UTV Components, Impact Solutions, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, the financial advice of the Haymauer Financial Group, Forworks Carbon, DP Brakes, Factory 43, Integrative Financial Concepts and their Safe to Race and Safe to Ride insurance programs, Binky's Forever ATC Museum, Blendzall Oil, the official oil choice of Digging Deep, Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant, Walsh Racecraft, and Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. Manscaped's signature line, the Performance Package 4.0, includes the new Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer that I rely on to help keep my beard on point, the best nose hair trimmer ever created, and an array of goodies like deodorant, boxer briefs, a travel bag, and more. So check out Manscaped. I wish I would have sooner, and get 20% off with free shipping by using code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. So rad that Manscaped is investing in ATV racing as a longtime partner of Digging Deep. Help us keep them in the fold and involved in ATV racing by using our Digging Deep 20 code so they know you enjoy digging deep and what we're all about here. Support all the great companies that support us, and for any products that fall through the cracks, click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website to help us out. The 2022 season may have come to an end. Riding isn't, however. Some of the best riding comes in the fall. We all know that. But whether it's for fall riding or already prepping for next season, we both know you still need parts and gear. No matter what off-road gear or parts you need, Rocky Mountain ATVMC has you covered. But before you buy, simply click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website. By using our specific link, we get a percentage of what you buy on the back end, enabling you to help us out while purchasing the parts you need anyway. And did you know that you can buy OEM parts from Rocky Mountain ATVMC as well? Yep, shipped conveniently right to your door. So click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner at diggingdeepatvmx.com to help us out while satisfying all your gear and parts needs. No new donors to shout out this week, but if you are interested in donating and hearing your name on the show, you can find the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee donation links on our website. Major thanks to all who have donated. You guys freaking rock. Now, it's showtime. The 30-second board is up, it's sideways, and the gate is down. Time to dig deep. Let's go. All right, guys, joining us tonight is a rider that put together an absolutely fantastic season, nearly won a couple overalls, did grab a few podiums, and ultimately finished in the highly coveted top three position in the series points standings. Brought to you by Blendzall Oil, the official oil choice of Digging Deep, I am proud to introduce our 2022 Digging Deep Most Improved Pro, Mr. Brandon Hoag. What's up, mate? Welcome back to the show.
Well, what's up, mate? That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't break the news to you ahead of time. You're just learning of this for the first time now, but you are this year's Digging Deep Most Improved Pro Award winner, as we speculated on recent shows. So congrats on that. What made this season different for you, pal? Because you were arguably the most Thomas Brown-like rider since T Brown left. So we know that that's the position that everybody wanted to be in. Everybody wanted to fill in T Brown's spot. So what do you credit that to? It was a season that you'll never forget for sure.
Well, thank you, man. I'm honored for getting that. That's actually really cool. But yeah, I would just credit to the team I had behind me, and they helped me a lot, physically, mentally, on the bike, off the bike, at the races. Everything was just where it needed to be. Like, I just had a lot of help there, and they understood me, like, with my training and stuff. So they had me riding as much as I could throughout the year and in between the races, which definitely helped me. Like, after High Point, they still really believed in me, even when I was really far back in points. Like, so, yeah, after High Point, I went to their place literally, and it like flipped a switch. Went to Sunset, 2 podiums in a row with Sunset, Ironman, and yeah, I mean, it was just, we had some good momentum there, like halfway through. But I would just give credit to my team behind me, not really myself. It was just a lot of team effort, which I really appreciate from the Musics.
Yeah, it was a heck of a season for you, dude. So last time we talked, you just mentioned the middle of the season there. So last time we talked to you on the show, you were in the midst of 3 podiums in 4 rounds. You reminded me, kind of maybe when we posted about it or something like that, you reminded me that it would have been 4 podiums in a row if not for that mechanical failure at Briarcliff. And man, when that DNF happened there at Briarcliff, you had to be thinking, not again, because, we see you nearly win Daytona. We know how that all went down. You were in position to win Ironman with a corner to go. You had to be thinking, not again, after that DNF there at Briarcliff.
Yeah, the DNF at Briarcliff it was almost like I couldn't believe it because of how bad of luck that just is. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have any warning either. Like, it wasn't any noise or anything before that. But yeah, it just sucked. Like, there's no other way to put it. You don't really expect those things to happen, and then when they do, the way I handle it is just that in my control. It wasn't in anyone's control. So the more you get pissed off at it, the worse it gets. So I'm not going to throw a helmet or anything. But I mean, I was still happy because the moto was good there. I was in second, and like,
Yeah.
actually opened the gap to Chad and Max, and I was like, I kind of caught Joel some areas and stuff, and I could just rode behind Joel that moto. So it was a good moto anyway. But yeah, just mechanicals are what they are.
I remember saying on the show in the coverage of that race that, yeah, like mid moto, you were like within 2 seconds of Joel. I mean, you were absolutely killing it. And then, Pleasure Valley was kind of around that time as well. And we know that you were pushing those 2 guys at that race as well. Like, there's plenty of pictures with, the 3 of you all stacked together. I mean, I mean, that was a great stretch of the season for you, but what a season in general to just push those guys. Like, it had to be almost, man, like, I don't want to say a dream come true, because I know your goals are lofty. I know you want to win these races and you want to be a championship guy, but at the same time, like last year, mid-season, the wheels kind of fell off with the brand switch and stuff like that. And then for this year, for it to all come together mid-season to the end of the season, man, like it was the exact opposite of last year. You were so strong. I feel like what a freaking season it was for you. It was amazing.
Yeah, dude. And I know this sounds weird, but how much it was mentally of a difference this year, because I knew how fit I was and how ready I was to race and how fast I also can be.
Mm-hmm.
That after High Point was a really big, like, High Point, dude. I have a video on my phone. It's about a minute long of me talking to myself, which I'll probably post sooner or later. And it's just me cussing myself out, saying like, all right, we're going to turn the year around and we're going to still get 3rd place. And I I was on a road bike at the time. And because at High Point, I qualified 2nd. I was riding really fast, but I felt terrible. And I ended up that moto, like, Bryce beat me, and I felt like I faded really bad in Moto 1. Couldn't hang on to the bike or anything. And I'm like, okay, like, I do all this work. I do so much stuff, and I can't even hang on to the quad for 3 minutes. Like, I'm either going to make the biggest change right now, or it's going to be just like last year, and I'm going to be in 9th, like back to 9th place. And then, yeah, dude, it just was like mentally, mentally, I'm like, hell with it. Like, just a different type of mentality for me. And I went to Sunset, and I'm like,
You just made a decision, like, I'm going to be top 3.
it was a decision. It was simply, I know how good I can ride. I know in my mind, like, how my technique is. Like, I just know how good I can be. There are
Mhm.
days at practice tracks to where I am a absolute, like, freak on a quad. And wasn't racing that way. So it just was a mental switch. And I went to Sunset, and I knew that Sunset was the race that like could make or break me, because last year at Sunset I got like 7th, right? Like, if I get a 7th at Sunset, then I'm done. I'm just gonna go back to like 7th in points. So Brett and CD were like, "You're gonna be the fastest one today, boy." Like that's how they talk. And
Mhm.
I went out in qualifying, dude, and if you look at the qualifying in Sunset, I was right on Joel and Chad.
Oh,
That
dude,
usually never happens at Sunset.
you were on rails that day, getting in and out of
Yeah,
the corners. My God, it was incredible. I did not
yeah.
need the lap times to see how fast you were going that day.
Well, that's sweet that it could look that way, but it felt that way, and that's why I'm like I would do a lap, and I saw how close I was, and I'm like, this is the day that I've been looking for, you know.
Mhm.
And then, honestly, even on the hole shots, like my hole shots all year, I've always been confident in. I mean, I came out top 3 so many motos. So at Sunset, we line up, and I line up next to Dad or Joel or whatever, and I'm like, all right, like I can easily get 3rd here, like just mentally. That's what I tell myself, not being cocky, but and I mean, it just happened. It was a mental, dude, a mental switch. I didn't change training like my volume's always high. It's always the same.
Mhm.
It's just mentally. How am I mentally? Like mentally, am I doing okay? Is my riding fine? It's just crazy what the mental state does for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild. Yeah, what a crazy stretch for you there. And yeah, if it wasn't for that Briarcliff situation, Brandon, that would have eliminated any drama at the finale, really, had you not lost those points that day. But we know, that's not how it went down. You came into the finale with a small gap, smaller than at least it would have been without that, that mishap there at Briarcliff. And then things got even more interesting than expected at the final round. That first hurdle seemed to be that back injury that happened in Moto 1. So take my listeners through that, buddy. That was crazy. That what a curveball that was for me heading into the second moto, learning of this, because I didn't see. I mean, there was stories of you getting, having needing help to get off the bike or whatever after the first moto or whatever. So take me through all of that. Like, what the heck happened there? Because that made everything way more stressful than it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was super weird too, because it was something that happened in qualifying. I just landed sitting down sideways after the finish, and I landed in a hole, and my back just like got a super sharp pain right through it, right? And I still finished qualifying. I get off the quad, and I'm just like sitting with Brett. I'm like, man, I really jacked my back up. Well, you know how back pains are. They're just like sometimes they're weird. Like you have some, some pain. So I didn't think it was nothing. And then the first moto, the back was not any issue in the entire moto. Every time I would jump or anything, I didn't have back pain. I get off the track, my quad had to go somewhere, and I had to walk to my trailer and fall. Like I literally could not hold myself anymore, and I'm screaming pretty loud. And yeah, it was Big Jeff. Like had to come help me, had to help me walk, and I went to the 88 Live to Ride tent, but I could not hold myself up. No strength to. It was a super sharp like squeeze pain, not a muscle cramp, but almost like when you when you break something. I thought I maybe broke something, but yeah, I couldn't move at all. I lay down on their bed thing for like minutes or so. Really bad pain. Definitely thought I could not race for sure. Without a doubt, was like I am not racing the second moto. And then I was crying and stuff, and like, and I knew had probably 20 minutes in me, but I didn't know if I could get 8th place or whatever I had to get.
Yeah.
And then I just had a lot of help of people like massaging me and all that stuff, which definitely helped. Like I had the icy, all the stuff you could do to try to get feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the gate. I found out it really hurt to go from standing to sitting. Like if I were to like sit down and then try to stand, that hurt. So I was either going to race the whole thing standing up, or I was going to try to like only do that momentum when I was like easy to. I did the sight lap. The sight lap was the worst part of it because I don't know why it hurt so bad in the sight lap, and I had like Johnny telling me like, "Oh, you got this." Like everyone telling me, "Just get 7th place," and I'm like in my own mind, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is gonna just be the worst moto of my entire life." But
Yeah.
yeah, I managed to get 7th. So I mean, I actually thought about halfway. I went through the 10 commandments and I leaned forward on the last one, and that pain like locked my back up because this is a pain to where when it locked up, I couldn't even do anything.
Yeah.
So it locked up going into that right hander. I literally had to sit down and not push the gas. And I'm like, please come back, like whatever my back was doing.
Yeah.
And it did. And Decker caught me a little bit, but I knew I had to beat Decker to like get 3rd in the points. But yeah, it just was the worst moto ever.
Dude, and that's what scared me so much about it. Being a guy that's dealt with back stuff, like, I broke my back a number of years ago or whatever, but then a couple years ago after one of my 25 plus titles. So I'm just riding in the fall and I somehow like slip a disc and just like riding, nothing happened. Didn't get sketchy, didn't crash, nothing happened. And the reason why I brought up my, winning a championship that year is in my mind. I was literally thinking to myself, if this happened in the middle of the race, I would literally have to pull over because I could not do anything.
Right?
I could not stand up. I couldn't do it. It didn't matter how bad I wanted it. My back wouldn't let me do it. Back pain, back injuries can be crippling. So that's why I was so worried as all this is going down. So while all this is going down, Brett Musig, your team owner there, comes up to me. He's in a panic about your back. And at the time, it really felt like there was some serious doubt. Like he had some doubt that you were going to be able to pull this thing off. So that's how I knew how serious it was. So I was going to ask you, like in your mind, was there some doubts? But you're saying there was. I'm sure you were on that sight lap there thinking like, still trying to talk yourself. Like we hear Johnny and all these people saying, you got this, you can do it or whatever. But I'm sure it took some convincing of yourself too, to like, make sure I'm going to be able to do this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Brett always joke about being soft. Like he'll say his ankle hurts or something. And I'll be like, man, you're just getting soft. Like you're getting too old and soft. So that's what we were joking about. Like this was a serious deal. Like, he was asking if I'm getting soft, and I'm like, no, this is actually
this is beyond that, right?
Yeah, yeah. But dude, and then the craziest part is I freaking almost ripped the whole shot. Like,
I know.
I knew I had to get I knew I wanted to get a decent start, but to rip the whole shot almost, like I was like, this is not. I mean, it is what I wanted, but it was like. Oh,
I know.
Great,
So in my mind, Brandon, I'm like, man, this could go either way. Like now is he, being at the front of the pack, I'm like, is he going to bite off more than he can chew? Is he going to push it a little too hard? Is he going to burn himself out? You know what I mean? Like it could have went either way. So yeah, that was wild, but ultimately you get it done with 4 points to spare. So 5-6 for 5th overall was good enough to get this thing done with 4 points to spare there. So I watched you like a hawk in that second moto. And man, like I said, I was so impressed that you didn't fade. Anything you were dealing with about, having some little issues or having that thing flare up or whatever, you never showed it. You just did your thing. Was there any points in the race other than like what you had said, on getting a little too far forward in the 10 commandments there or whatever, but was there any other points where you're like, oh shoot, like that was close or nothing like that? Did it never get that sketchy during the second moto there?
Yeah, one other time I overjumped the middle triple.
Okay.
Like I was just telling myself to just chill out and land stuff smoothly. And I freaking come around the turn. I overjumped the jump by like maybe 2 quad lengths or so, but that's enough to like land a flat.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I land and I'm like, I'm just gonna literally ruin it for myself if I keep doing this. Because at one point, kind of like it was probably lap maybe 4 or so. I could see everyone in front of me, and they weren't like pulling away from me crazy at that point. And I'm like maybe I can race right now. Maybe I can just like now, like let's go. But yeah, that moment happened, and I'm like, well, now I'm probably gonna get passed from that. And I just after that, I knew I definitely could not. But yeah, there were moments where it was like, okay, maybe I can go. And then there were times where it's like, nope, let's just try to win this, like whatever my goal was, but no, it
Uh-huh.
was, and then also like I'd go by and I'd check for the laps, like how many laps we have left.
Uh-huh.
I never saw a cross flag or nothing. I'm like, are we really only like into this moto? And it was, thankfully the two board comes out and everything. But yeah, it was a very pretty wild race for me.
Yeah, like I said, it seemed way more dramatic than it needed to be. It should have got that interesting. So
Yeah.
that was crazy. So then the next little bit of drama, or whatever you want to call it, is this protest situation. I think that you were referencing that. That's why your bike had to go somewhere after the first moto. That's why you were walking, all these things. The protest was on sound, correct? So, like I said, happened in between motos there. So what do you want to tell me about that? That seemed to make everything a little bit more interesting while you're trying to digest and figure out this whole back situation all at the same time. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I respect it at the end of the day. I get it. I get what it was for. And, but I knew when we got protested that we would pass, just so I wasn't concerned. But I mean, the protest deal, I think, got definitely blown out of proportion
Mm-hmm.
than what it should have been. I mean, I don't mind. Like, I literally care zero to get protested.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter at all. Like, I definitely think that there needs to be that in the racing, just in case if people do cheat. But the only thing I kind of got upset about was, you know, uh, I guess I won't get into it now, but I'm not gonna do this stuff cheating
Mm-hmm.
like this not the way I am. I mean, if and I'm not gonna cheat on sound if I really think that a decibel is gonna give me like this huge advantage to be a where Joel and Chad are. It's just not me, man. But I totally get it, and like I said, I respected the protests, and I literally didn't get bothered by it. So it is what it is.
No, I think that from everybody else is how it spiraled out of control and got blown out of
Right.
proportion. Like you said, I think it took on a life of its own, and that probably was not necessary. We got Bryce coming up later on this show too, and we'll ask him about it because I thought what he said on the podium, uh, he said a lot of great things about you before trying to clear the air on the fact that there was a protest that went down, but he talked about how great of a season you had, and how much respect he had for you. So I didn't want to harp on all the drama stuff. I really just wanted to touch on that and hear what you knew about it. So you clinched that top 3 spot. That was obviously the goal, the biggest goal coming into the weekend. I'm sure it was the biggest goal coming into the year, and you had to fight through some things in the middle of the year there. So how stoked were you after the race, Brandon? Because you're one of those guys that always has your eye on the next big thing. You're always on to kind of the next thing. That's just how you are. But did you let yourself enjoy, that you clinched the goal there? You accomplished the goal. Did you enjoy that there on Saturday night?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't drive home happy just because of how the day was. It was not the day I wanted. Like, I wanted to go out there and seriously end with a statement that I was the third guy. So I was upset driving home, but as I get older, I definitely celebrate the stuff more. So now the biggest celebration for me was what I talked about earlier with the mental switch. I fully believed in myself and I did it, and it helped me a lot. And it's just how my future is going to look. Like, I know how powerful it is for me. Um, and I know what I need to do to pull myself into that position again. So like it was a big win on that aspect that now I know going into next year, I know how to be like where my head needs to be, even if I have bad races and stuff, I've been through all of it now to where I know where I need to be mentally at every single race.
Mhm.
So
Well, I think that, we knew that you were capable of it, but still to accomplish it for the first time, to prove to yourself that, man, like, hey, I am a top 3 pro. Like when the dust settles, when the season ends, I'm on that top 3 podium. To actually accomplish that is a huge freaking deal, like
yeah,
to think of, I mean, just, and I've said this probably every time we've had you on the show, but to think about it wasn't that long ago that, you were, obsessing over watching Joel Hetrick videos. And now you've, manifested the fact that like you're standing alongside of him and running his pace at times and earning your spot on the podium alongside him and Chad. Man, like that's just such a special thing to me. So I was hopeful that, I knew you weren't, on Saturday night, it's not like you were going to be getting crazy. I didn't mean it like that. I more meant like, have you, thought about the fact that, hey, like I did this thing. I was just hopeful that you were kind of focusing on that rather than, whatever happened on Saturday at Loretta's, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely was. It's kind of funny. Like if you think about, the High Point race, like when I went home from High Point,
Yeah.
like for example, like my phone wasn't ringing on the way home. Like, hey, good job. Like people weren't reaching out to me like how good I rode. People weren't doing this and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that type of stuff, even though people don't realize it, that stuff for me is like, I'm not doing as good as I know I can do. Like the days where I'll drive home from a race and like my phone's blowing up and people are like, wow, you rode good and congrats on the podium. Like it's kind of hard to think about it that way, but people don't realize it, man. Like whenever I do bad, I take it so deep that
we know,
dude, like I just love doing good. I just love doing good.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that. And when I'm doing good, I will be the happiest guy you will ever see at a track or anywhere. Like I'll go to a gas station and tip the guy $20 just for fun. Like, so yeah, I just really want to do good. And when I do good, everything's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's because you put so much into it, when you dedicate as much as you do, that's what, that's how you accomplish or how you achieve that level of happiness. Like that's because you invest nonstop into yourself and chasing your goals like this. So that's why. But yeah, amazing accomplishment for you in this first year team, the music racing and repair team. It's just incredible to think a first year team and you team up to, for the first time or whatever, first year of this effort, and you end up, finishing on the top three, in the top three, on the top three spot to end the season is amazing. You and I spent a portion of the day on Thursday leading up to Loretta's chatting about next year and looking forward to the Quad Cross of Nations, a spot that, you've now clinched basically now that we know that this is a top 3 in points thing that earns that for the next season. So that's amazing. Congrats to you on that as well for 2023. We know Brett and the crew over there, loved having you. Obviously they were over the moon about having you on the team. And then I started to hear rumors about potentially another offer from a new team or something like that. So maybe you can't say anything yet, but what can you say about this? Because obviously we know that rumors are swirling. Joel Hetrick was on the last episode kind of hinting at some of these things. So I told him that we were going to hold you down and at least see what you could say about it. We'll get right back to the show, but now a word from our sponsors. And thank you for listening to these ads. Without these great companies, none of this would be possible. Show your support for the people who support us. We used to speak of a CST takeover, but now 2022 is the year of CST supremacy. CST's Pulse MXR tires are the choice of Joel Hetrick, Jeffrey Rastrelli, and Nick Janusa, meaning CST tire riders are in contention for Pro Class wins and a possible podium sweep every time they hit the racetrack. CST tires are also the official tire choice of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, but you already knew that. I, your host Cody Jansen, helped pioneer the CST takeover with Pulse MXR fronts and white label soft compound rears on my way to back-to-back national championships and a Pro Sport podium to cap off the 2021 season. The Pulse MXR tire, available in soft and standard compounds, offer the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics when compared to the competition. Did I mention they offer contingency payouts as well? Visit shop.CST Tires to join the CST takeover today or prepare to be beat by someone who did. Joel Hetrick, Jeffrey Rastrelli, Nick Janusa, myself, and so many more believe and trust in CST Tires. Do you? You already know we're Team Blue Crew now more than ever here at the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. And whether it's 8-time and reigning ATVMX Pro Class National Champion Chad Wienen, who with his next championship will become the winningest champion in ATV motocross history, or 7-time and current XC1 Pro ATV GNCC National Champion Walker Fowler, who is now tied for second all-time in titles won, it's clear the podium-proven Yamaha YF Z450R is the winning choice of sport ATVs. This continued and unprecedented success for the Yamaha YF Z450R, its unrivaled quality and performance, and the undisputable fact that Yamaha is the leading OEM supporter of ATV racing has resulted in an ever-growing Yamaha takeover within the sport quad market. Best yet, Yamaha's Blue Crew Racer Support Program is back and stronger than ever here in 2022. meaning Yamaha riders will once again cash in on payouts and prize opportunities, including a chance to win a brand new YFZ 450R. For more info, head over to YamahaBlueCrew.com, follow them at Yamaha Outdoors on social media, and check out Yamaha's full proven off-road lineup at YamahaOutdoors.com today. SSI Decals is a name synonymous with ATV racing, synonymous with big-time success, and absolutely synonymous with the best-looking decals around. An offshoot of their parent company that was established in 1947, SSI first took shape from owner Ian Harris's passion for ATVs. With what started as just making numbers and decals for riders like Chad Wienen, the company quickly took off, and today you couldn't imagine ATV motocross without SSI decals. The graphics maker and designer now supports all the top teams in ATV motocross, as well as teams and riders racing GNCC, Work Series, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Canadian Pro Motocross, short course off-road trucks, UTVs, snowcross, and, oh yeah, 6-time world champion top fuel drag racer Clay Milligan. No project is too big or too small for SSI Decals, making your identity stick with championship level graphics. Head over to SSIDecals.com today and then maybe call the doctor because things are about to get sick. The Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast is brought to you in part by DID and their wide range of championship winning chains. From the street to the track and everywhere in between, DID chains are designed to give you the optimal riding experience with great performance and increased chain life. Consistent to the core, pick up your box of reliability today. DID, what drives you?
We are proud to be partnered with Namura Technologies. Since 2001, Namura has led the charge in the ATV and side-by-side market, covering more applications than anyone else in the industry. Namura's advanced piston technology uses a NASA-exclusive aluminum alloy that helps to reduce expansion rates, allows for tighter tolerances, and leads to higher overall engine performance for your machine. For more information about Namura's wide offerings of pistons, rings, gaskets, industry-leading top-end repair kits, and recently added connecting rods, visit your local dealer or online at www.namura.com. Namura Technologies, your one-stop shop engine component supplier. We are pleased to be partnered with Bronco ATV and UTV Components. Bronco has been an industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. With a catalog that includes a full line of electrical components, engine internals and cylinders, shock and suspension parts, winches, clutch kits, valves, carb kits, bearing kits, and drive chain parts, Bronco is your hard part source for whatever you need for whatever you ride. Available exclusively through distributors around the world, visit your local dealer or online at broncoatv.com.
Forworks Carbon's innovative lightweight products include top-notch seat covers, carbon fiber and plastic hoods, gas tank covers, exhaust shields, shock guards, and much more. Whether you have an ATV, UTV, or snowmobile, Forworks has the goodies that will improve your ride and make you salivate. We trust Forworks for increased function and a sexier look, and you should too. Forworks Carbon, always working hard to bring high quality and innovative parts to the market. Check them out today at fwcarbon.com.
What can you say about this? Because obviously we know that rumors are swirling. Joel Hetrick was on the last episode kind of hinting at some of these things. So I told him that we were going to hold you down and at least see what you could say about it.
Yeah, that Joel guy's an idiot, huh? But no, I'm really not sure yet. I'll definitely fill you in when I know my exact, I guess just when I can announce stuff and when I can make sure everything's going to be good. But yeah, I mean, rumors are out there, but I'm not going to be able to announce anything right now. Hopefully soon, a couple weeks maybe, I'll be able to kind of put everything out there and see which way I'm going to go. But yeah, man, we're just absolutely phenomenal, and they always have my back, which was just a good feeling, like I said. And Brett went into me when no one else would. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I hope that I hope that whatever it is that happens, I hope that it's a difficult decision before you, because whatever you're deciding between is so good. That's what I hope for you. We know that Brett is willing to do anything and everything within his means for you. You know what you're getting from that team. We know what the baseline is. I said all season long that it was a perfect combination, you and this music racing and repair team. So yeah, I hope that I hope that, you make whatever decision is right for you. I have to imagine it's pretty hard to leave that because we saw what the baseline was with those guys. But yeah, I hope that whatever it is, it's a difficult decision because the offers are so good. That's what I hope for you, Brandon. Obviously you're a close friend of mine, friend of the show, obviously, and somebody that we're always cheering for. So we just want the best for you. Rock solid was the best way to describe your season. I think your love for riding and racing is a huge part of your success, Brandon. We know how much you love riding and racing and competing and being successful. You were just touching on that. Have you been riding? I swear I've been seeing some videos like you've been riding for fun recently, even since the season concluded. Is that right?
No, my back is still bad right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a disc issue or something, but there's some times where I can't get out of bed yet. So it's still a problem, but I'm starting to be able to train a little bit and stuff like that. But no, I've been on hold just to make sure that this isn't going to hold me back in months to come.
Going forward. Yeah, good call, because those things can linger. I know all about that. Well,
Yeah.
pal, congrats on a hell of a season. I'm glad that back issue happened at just the right time, that at least it didn't put in your season in jeopardy down the stretch there. But man, congrats on that top 3 spot. Congrats on being our 2022 Digging Deep Most Improved Pro, which is pretty awesome, Brandon. That was something that we've been doing, typically, like last year it was Cody Ford. I think you don't necessarily think of it being a top 3 guy. But for you, man, like you went from being 6th last year, 3rd this year in points. And I can't remember what the number was exactly. It's I got the number here. It's 56. You were 56 points better than last season is what clinched that spot for you. So you had, like 20 more points than the next closest guy. I think Vince Merman came in 2nd for the award and Joel Hetrick was 3rd. So Brandon Hoag, Most Improved Pro, man, like stoked that you're that guy. Obviously, we're a huge fan of you here at Digging Deep, obviously, but man, just a testament to you for the strides that you made this season. It's amazing.
Thank you for that, man. That feels good to take, actually. I like hearing that I improved, which that's nice. And hopefully I can go after that award again next year.
Yeah. Well, there's a trophy being made that'll have your name on it. So we'll get that thing in the mail on its way to you when we got it, pal. But again, congrats on a heck of a season. Thanks so much for being here with us. Always stoked to have you on the show. And man, congrats on being our 2022 Digging Deep Most Improved Pro.
Thank you, Cody. I really appreciate it.
Congrats again, buddy. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
That's top 3 AMA ATV Pro Brandon Hoag right here on the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. See you, pal.
See you, mate.
Now we'll shift gears from the guy that got the podium spot this year to the guy that had the spot last year and did everything he could to try and repeat. I've been excited for this conversation for a while. Enjoy our Bryce Ford tell all and pay attention to just how much different he sounds in comparison to a year ago. I love it. Enjoy. All right, guys, I am stoked to talk to this next guest. Brought to you by Binky's Forever ATC Museum, open to the public September 24th, October 22nd, and November 26th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Tickets are available at www.binkysforeveratc.com or at the door. One of my favorite dudes in the pits, fresh off his most recent Pro Class podium, the 8th of his career, and currently readying himself to represent Team USA at the 2022 Quad Cross of Nations. It's Mr. Bryce Ford. Welcome back to the show, buddy. Grateful to have you.
Thank you for having me on, Cody. I'm super excited. And I've just been preparing to go overseas in the Czech Republic and make everything go smooth.
Yeah. So tell me what that's about. I was going to ask you what's going on in your world. You kind of already told us there. I'm assuming just grinding away, getting ready to go to the Czech Republic. So tell me about that. What is the difference in your prep, I guess, based on, you prep all season? Are you training any different right now, or what's that like?
So honestly, it's been pretty fun just riding with not a ton of pressure because there's no points going into this race.
Yeah.
And just, there's nothing on my mind except for just, I need to ride the best that I can. So, we upped the moto length a little bit. I've been doing some long motos. The only difference is we changed the pipe that I run in the field that we're going to run over there.
Okay.
But it's all been going really smooth. It's definitely a little bit different. But it's still the same ATV. So it's super cool. I'm really excited to go over there. Honestly, it's going to be cool for me because it's like a one-off race, so there's no pressure.
Mhm.
And it's just going to be something different I haven't done in a while. So I'm really excited. I'm focused, and the training's been going good. I took a little break after Loretta's, but right now I'm in the middle of sort of my training. Like I've rode for 2 weeks, trained for 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna do 2 more weeks, and then we fly over there. So it's been going pretty good. I feel good. I feel fresh on the bike again, like I did at the start of the season. So I'm just, like I keep saying, super excited. This is a big opportunity for me. It's one of the biggest I've ever had. Just to go to a different country. I've never done that. And just to do it for the people and the sport that I love. This is going to be awesome for me.
Yeah, I mean, what an opportunity. I gotta imagine it's a bucket list thing. We'll get into a little bit more of that. As you're training here, is your brother, kind of training with you? Like it's middle of the season. I imagine, being the foreman like he is and working on the track and all those things, I feel like maybe he's out there pushing you. Tell me about that, because I know he's got other things going on too. I know he's getting married soon and all these things, but is he out there riding with you as well?
Yeah, so that's a little bit different. He's riding with me. He rode. I've been riding quite a bit, but he rode with me 2 or 3 times. But he's on a dirt bike, and there are a couple other dirt bikes out there.
Okay.
It's just, I don't. It's nice to ride with people like during the season, but right now, it doesn't really change for me. I know if I'm feeling good or if I'm not.
Got it. Yeah.
And if I hit a good lap, it's like I want to hit another good lap. So it's not super hard to ride by myself. I've been really focused lately. I've been working with a mental coach, and I feel like I've came such a far ways in such a short time.
Mhm.
And just to see my progression, just with the mental side of things, and just like before I even get on the bike, I feel a lot better. So Cody hasn't been riding with me a ton. He hasn't been riding on a quad, but it's cool to see other people out there when I'm riding for 30 minutes. They're
Right.
somewhat suffering. I'm not the only one. But no, it's been super fun. Just seeing my brother enjoy his time off and ride his dirt bike just gives him a little break, but he's still staying active. So yeah, I mean, it's super fun. And we also sponsor a pro rider. I just came back from Paula,
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
just to see and ride with some of the different athletes in different sports. It's super cool, and to see their physical fitness in mine. So it just pushes me, and I won't stop. And yeah.
What, remind me of his name, Bryce? It escapes me right now.
His name's Ryder Floyd.
Yeah, Ryder Floyd. Yes. I've
Yeah. So he grew up around here, and he's been racing pro, and he was met with Man Luck.
Yep.
And I met him at Fit and Wise, but long story short, I talked to my parents, and we wanted to help him out a little bit. And it's been going smooth, but I think his bread and butter is going to be Supercross this year. So
Okay.
I just try to really help him, and we work together, which is super cool because he's a pro athlete.
Mhm.
And I'm also a pro athlete. It's a little bit different. Motocross, I feel like it's just like you got to get down and like push through some stuff, but Supercross is more of a technical aspect. So it's super cool. And it's sort of honestly helped me a little bit with my riding. I used to be really loose and sort of out of control with the bike.
Mhm.
And I learned like, if you're super in tune and discipline on on the ATV, it really helps just with fatiguing and just with hitting that same line consistently. So watching him going to the Supercross track, it's like, wow, you got to be perfect for 25 minutes. So when I
Mhm.
get a little lazy when I ride, it definitely opens my eyes to something completely different.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've seen him at some of the races too, right? Like you guys have developed a friendship. Like he's been at some of our races as well with you. And I got to believe that, just having another person that you can talk to, and obviously you have your brother, which is a huge advantage to both of you, but to have another guy who does things on the motocross and supercross side that you can just talk about racing things with, and kind of like your perspective on things and stuff like that, that has to be an advantage as well, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like something that you bring up that's super cool, just because he can see like obviously ATVs isn't as big, but he sees the work I put in during the week, and just like when he comes to a race, he knows what I need to do because he watches how I ride during the week. And it's been something really cool. And like I went to Paula last week, and I try to help him just like he helps me. And it's super cool because it's two completely different machines, but it's very similar. And some of the people I've met like have heard about our track or heard about us or ATVs, but honestly, a lot of them act like they don't know about ATVs. But then you get to know them a little bit better. Like I talked to a guy that works for HRC Honda. Long story short, he used to work for Yoshimura Suzuki when Chad rode quads, and he knows a little bit about the industry. But there's just a lot of people who know a lot about it, and like it's super cool to see him just, ride with me and help me through some of the things.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think across the board, it just feels like you're becoming like a more well-rounded rider. As you get a little older, you're having people join kind of your inner circle that are able to help you grow and stuff like that. And I feel like, you said you have a mental coach, and maybe that explains some of it too, but just talking to you, I mean, hearing you now and even talking to you in person when we got to conversate throughout the year, it's just like, you just feel like you've taken a step, and maybe it's just taking a step in being a person, being more comfortable as a pro, like kind of on the, I don't want to say on a pedestal, because that's sometimes has a negative connotation that comes with it, but just you're more comfortable in your role. You're more comfortable in your skin. You're more comfortable going to the gate and hanging out with the kids and prepping their gates and just being Bryce Ford. I don't know if this makes sense to you, what I'm saying, but it sure looks that way from me, that you've just grown and you're just more comfortable being who you are.
No, for sure. And I agree with that. And that's a lot of self-confidence and just not worrying about what others think about me. I feel like I worry about what people think and say, and I change the way I am. But now I sort of just do my thing and go about how I want to go about life, the way I want to do it. And it's definitely helped a lot. The mental side of things is, I've always felt like it's a lot of racing, and just to see some of it starting to, benefit me in the way that it can help. It's definitely a big part of it. I know a lot of people stress about riding and stuff, but just being, just having a strong mindset before you get on the bike, it definitely helps a lot. And thinking that you can run with those guys. Like for instance, me at Texas, I rode up front for quite a while, and I sort of lost that attitude and that hunger throughout the season. And then you see me at Loretta's. I wasn't running up front, but I was running, closer to second than I had for a while. So just to see the mental side of things really change for me and how it's benefited me, I love it. And I also really just have enjoyed the whole, the learning experience for me, the maturing side of things.
It's awesome. I mean, to think that, your job gets to be riding your quad. I mean, that's just the coolest thing. And I think that you're exactly right. I mean, I think even some amateurs listening probably right now can relate to, man, like the season is so long, especially when you prep and ride and train as much as you guys do. The season is so long that in the middle of it, it can seem like a marathon. As the #1 podcast in ATV racing, it's only right that we partner with the industry leaders in suspension tuning. Insert Impact Solutions. Impact Solutions is a full-service ATV and side-by-side suspension center specializing in the revalving and service of your motocross and off-road suspension. With over 25 years of elite-level knowledge, experience, and testing with riders of all ages and ability levels, Casey Greek, Jay Goebel, and the Impact crew strive to exceed clients' expectations for service and setup. Impact Solutions is the official Elka Suspension Service Center of the United States, offering unmatched product knowledge and experience. Whether you're in need of service, parts, warranty, sales, or technical support, Impact Solutions has you covered. Head over to impactsolutionsatv.com or give them a call today.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
The following message is brought to you by manscaped.com. The Manscaped engineering team has outdone themselves this time, creating the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, now available for purchase in the US and Canada. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, an official sponsor of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, with this exclusive offer of 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0 and I am blown away. This thing is next level. What sets this trimmer apart from all the rest? The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. It features a new multi-functioning on-off switch with travel lock for those of us who like to travel. And my favorite, the new trimmer allows you to customize your trim with 4 different guard lengths, an upgrade from its predecessor that only featured 2. If you're listening, you know that good tools are a must, so wait no more to get the best tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DiggingDeep20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com by using code DiggingDeep20.
Hey everyone, this is Larry Mills, president of DP Brakes North America and proud partner of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. We at DP Brakes are a longtime supporter of ATV racing and the world leader in sintered brake technology, dominating the ATV world for decades by supporting the best four-wheeled racers on the planet. This year's lineup includes Jeff Rastrelli, Mark Baldwin and Baldwin Motorsports, Ford Brothers Racing, Nick Janusa, and many more, including Mr. Digging Deep himself, Cody Jansen. Plus all the top 17 GNCC pros such as 7-time champion Walker Fowler, Bryce O'Neill, Hunter Hart, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and previous champion Chris Borich. These top riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer. Products ultimately help place them on top of the podium week after week. DP brakes are available through www.dp-brakes.com, or you can purchase them through your local Parts Unlimited stocking dealer, or you can even message us, myself, Larry Mills, or DP Brakes on Instagram or Facebook. And if you have any questions about product or sponsorship support, please ask us. We are waiting for you. Join the best ATV riders in the world equipped with DP Brakes, and have a great year, everyone.
Nearing 2 decades into the brand's existence, Factory 43 is back and better than ever, continuing to make major waves in the ATV world. For the 3rd consecutive season, Factory 43 is the official aluminum parts choice of the Phoenix Racing ATV team, providing their state-of-the-art Evo Nerf bars, MX-style front bumpers, and grab bars for 2-time champ Joel Hetrick. If you're in the market to upgrade your Nerf bars, bumpers, or grab bars, head over to factory43atv.com to see their full line of industry-leading products available for all makes and models. Head over to factory43atv.com today.
Success in the ATV MX world is similar to what creates financial success as well. The right people, the right advice, and more importantly, hard work and the benefit of an ongoing relationship as situations change and adversity is experienced. Do you have the right financial advisor to help you reach your goals? Haymauer Financial Group can create a personalized, goal-based plan to help your family prepare for whatever life brings. Call me, Scott Haymauer, at Haymauer Financial Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, at 920-338-8150. That's 920-338-8150. Offices located in beautiful De Pere, Wisconsin, with registrations and clients nationwide.
Let's talk about your season, Bryce. So your 3rd season as a pro, you kicked things off with a 4th at the opener. And didn't something happen as I was prepping my notes here? Didn't something happen in the last, like the last corner, right, of the main event there? Didn't something happen?
Yeah, it was like the last lap, halfway to go through. I just got lazy, and I was like pretty much thinking in my head the race was over, just like ride. And I do that often where I just get content with where I'm at, and I lose a little bit of focus. And yeah, next thing I know, I lost a little bit of focus and my bike's flipped upside down and I'm laying on the ground next to it. But I got up as quick as I could and I got 4th, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a little bit of a bummer because I was in 3rd. I personally feel like I got 3rd because Hoag had an unfortunate break, which I don't really count. That is me beating him. So
right.
3rd would have been super great, and then I got gifted 2nd, so it was going really good, and then just that little mistake. But to get 4th off of that, I was happy with that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so nearly half a lap short of a podium there, but then you quickly did rebound. So you got that 4th, that was great, rebounding that way, and then you quickly rebounded after that, grabbing 2 podiums in the first 4 rounds, and you went on to be at the center of this battle for 3rd for literally the entire season. So you would know better than anyone, but I think that fight for 3rd was literally as gnarly as we've ever seen it. I truly believe that, or at least in the last decade or so. I mean, since the factories were around and, you had all these big name legends, I truly think that battle for third was as gnarly as it's ever been. What do you think? You were at the center of it. You would know better than anybody, but I believe, like, from the outside looking in, man, it was a dogfight.
Oh no, for sure. It really was. Just like halfway through the season, I felt really good. And then I fell into a little bit of a slump. And I just want to be honest. Hoag was riding really good this year. And that was obviously someone who, you know, I was focused on because he had his program together and he was riding great to qualify second. And he was running, really good lap times. I mean, I had my hands full for sure. And I know a lot of people think that the third place might be this guy's or that guy's or this guy's, but it was definitely something that was on my mind, and I wanted third super bad because I got it the year before. But for him to get it, I really think it's awesome for him because I've seen how much work he puts in. I know that is his life, and he works for it. Yeah, he just straight up works for it, and he did really well. Like at Briarcliff, he was running first or second, I can't remember exactly. And then at Daytona, he was running first. And just to see how his work's paid off and to see how well he's done it, it really is awesome for me. And I know some things went sideways at Loretta's, but I don't take that away from his riding at all. I think he's a great rider. And he did great this year, and he earned the third spot, and I don't take that away from him. But I feel like if I would have had if I'd have rode consistent through the whole season, we would have seen something different. But unfortunately, we didn't for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is. I'm just going to try to be better and just focus on myself. Like, for instance, last year, I didn't even ride until like February 10th or 15th, just because I was honestly exhausted from racing. I didn't want to race anymore. I didn't enjoy it. And just to come back this season and really have fun and enjoy it, and to be sitting here September, and I plan on riding in October and throughout the season, it's awesome to see that I enjoy it again, because for many years I was just going through the motions and wasn't enjoying it. So to see myself back enjoying it, and my mental state is 10 times better than it's ever been,
Mm-hmm.
it's something great for me, and it's a positive. But I'll tell you right now, that third spot is no joke. And Hoag earned it. Jeffrey rode really great. Nick Janusa was impressive. Max, as always, he's going to be fast. I feel like me and him are very close.
Yeah.
It's just the luck factor, to be honest with you. The third spot, like, we all rode really great. We had our, really good races and not so good races. So it's super cool for me to see. It gets a little frustrating when, like, one guy does really good and you have a really bad race. For me,
Yeah.
Pleasure Valley was that race. I was running second, and I hit that flag post, and then the second moto I blow up. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that was a tough weekend for me, but it's super cool, and that's what makes racing fun. I have never had those battles growing up where there's 3 or 4 of us going at one spot and 2 guys way better than you guys. So it's super cool for me. It gives me a lot to learn. I can try to catch Joel and Chad, but I also got to stay good to stay in third. So it's something that's super cool for me.
Yeah. So you just hit on like 5 topics that I wanted to touch on while we're talking here. So I'm going to need to take it one thing at a time here. But honestly, like, I feel like for you, and you touched on it, something that we said so often is everybody, all of you, kind of had, you had the Pleasure Valley thing. Brandon had, the opener and his Briarcliff thing. Like, everybody had their problems. Jeffrey had them. Max had them. I mean, everybody had them, right? So it eventually evened itself out. And the crazy thing is, you talked about how good, mentally you grew this season, all these things. Like, you've looked to me like your riding was better than ever. And so when you compare last year to this year, you had, within 1 point, you accumulated different from last year to this year, 3 podiums each season. And it kind of just shows you had almost identical seasons, yet and you got better, but it just shows like that, like, everybody got that much better.
Yeah, and that's something that's crazy too. It's like,
Yeah.
we got better, and going into the start of the season, I was confident with where I was at.
Right.
And just to see Chad and Joel get that much better, it's like, man, this is crazy. And it's just super cool to see. Like you said, everyone got that much better. And I really didn't even know that I got 1 point difference from this
Yeah.
year to last year, but
Yeah,
that's
dude.
super cool.
313 last year, 312 this year. But even I think it speaks to, the Brandon Hoags, the Jeffrey Rastrellis, the Nick Janusis, everybody raised their level along with you. And so for you to have a season that basically mirrored last season almost identically, and to, against all that great competition, I think that speaks well to the path that you're on. And even Joel and Chad on our last couple episodes said exactly what you're telling me right now is, yes, like you always want to win. Yes, you always want to be on the podium if you're, yourself. At the same time, you don't want to just be the clear cut, like, basically like you're cruising around and getting third. You wouldn't want that. You want those other guys to push you to be, the best that you are. That way that, you get that, like that natural high that we talk about on these shows or whatever. Like if it was just a given, if you were just, like in the younger class or the youth classes, or even, man, even when you were in Pro-Am, like when you're smoking everybody, you don't really get that same natural high. And when it's difficult and then you get podiums, or you are at the front of races, getting second overall, getting whole shots, all those things, the tougher it is, the more rewarding it is. And I think like you paying your dues now is just going to pay off down the road. I truly believe that.
Yeah, and that's like with the mental side of things, and just even I try to eat the best that I can. I don't even eat any bad food, to be honest. And I just do everything. I'm trying to do everything right. And just at a young age, I feel like, some people, party and things like that, but I'm trying to, stay committed to what I dreamed of being and fulfilling is to win a pro championship. And I want to do it in a short time, because there are people in my life that impact every day. And you just never know how long everyone's going to stay around. But yeah, it's something that's super cool just to see how much better I've gotten, and just like, how far I've come. Like you said, Pro-Am was sort of a runaway, and then you go into pro and it's like you're really fast. You feel like you're the fastest you can go, and then you see someone faster than you, and you progress to get better, and they get better, and it just makes it like, I feel like pro class right now is really solid.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's as solid as I can ever remember it being. That's what makes it so fun from our perspective. And that's what I was kind of getting at, is that for you too, it's got to be so much fun being that, man, like going into the weekend, you got to bring it. You still don't know how it's going to go like that as a competitor. And I know that you're as competitive as anybody. As a competitor, you want that challenge. So that's what I was kind of getting at there. So again, a number of topics I didn't comment on there. I'll comment on them as we finish up our conversation here, but kind of jumping back in, talking about your season. So around the midway point of the season, we started to hear that you were going to be the pick as the third rider for Team USA. And around that time is when we saw, a couple totally unrelated mechanical issues, that Pleasure Valley incident and with the DNF and all those things, completely unrelated to the Team USA thing. But I think, people wanted to connect your results at that time to, the Team USA announcement and all that stuff, whatever. That's a conversation for another day. But I did want to ask you if that announcement as a member of Team USA and the reaction that kind of stemmed from that, did that impact your riding at all? Like, did that feel like pressure to you, or was that it was just coincidental that's the way the results looked?
I feel like there was a little bit of pressure. Just going through the season and trying to stay healthy. But I feel like you said, that there was a little bit of a coincidence going on there.
Yeah.
Just some bad luck, and that's with racing in general. I feel like we're pushing the bikes, to the limit power wise, and we're riding them pretty hard. There was just unfortunate things, and I'm fine with that. And like I believe that Mark assembles the bike to the best of anyone out there, and even Jeffrey had his problems, and Mark assembles his motor, and I know we have like identical motors. So it's unfortunate, but there was definitely a little bit of like, nerves and pressure for me with the USA thing, but that would have nothing to do with my performance or my, my mechanical issues. So I feel like it was a coincidence. It sucks, but just to, to even race and ride with those guys, I'm fortunate enough to do that, and to not get hurt when there's a mechanical problem. It is what it is. And it's like, you can't change that. So,
and honestly, like, kind of a different topic, but I mean, just to see you on the side of the track, cheering on your brother, like all those things. I mean, you just, it was like on that day, it was what it was. It is what it is kind of thing. And I knew that you were going to say that. I didn't think that there was a correlation. I'm sure, especially in the dog days of a season like that, I'm sure you're not listening to our shows, but man, on every episode, I'm like, these stray bullets that this kid is getting from this whole deal is absurd to me. Like, you earned the spot, you deserved the spot, like you were named to the team for a reason. And I think it was just these trolls that you see on the internet that are the ones that are banging the table like this was some egregious mistake. These are things that I said over and over and over again on these shows, and I kept hoping that you'd be able to just use it as fuel. The last thing I wanted was for you to get robbed of, all the joy and excitement and honor that, this thing being named to Team USA is. I know it was a dream come true. It was something for your family that you guys had, maybe marked down as a goal sometime, long ago, like, man, hopefully someday we can do this. You get it. I was just hoping that the situation that arose where people were questioning it and whatever, I was hoping that, you didn't let them rob you of that honor and the joy and excitement that comes from that. But I was really hoping that you were going to be able to use all those comments that I saw as fuel. And honestly, like, even me, I would see comments on our posts or whatever, and I'm like, I can't even read these anymore. I can't read these comments anymore. It just made my blood boil. I was cheering for you. I think I put you on my fantasy team every week just because I wanted it for you so bad. But I was really hoping, I'm like, man, just use all this crap as fuel. I was wondering if you were able to do that.
Yeah, no, that's something that might have, it might have gotten my head a little bit through the season, just going through the comments. Sometimes I probably need to get off Facebook and Instagram, but I just really want to, make the ATV racing community, I want to help it and make it grow. And like, we help JL from South Africa, and we don't ask for anything from him. I don't ask for anything from him. And I try to prep him like it's myself. I tell him any information that I know. I let him use the same trainer we use. And to see those comments, and it's not even like I'm like, poor me or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. It's a little disappointing because I just, I've never been like really liked, because I feel like my parents have gave me a very good opportunity, and it's like, I'm very fortunate. Like, they don't have to do this. This racing is for fun. I'm 20 years old. They could pull the plug, but to see them, really support my racing and keep our relationship together, and just, I'm able to race every weekend. And that's going back to something else, is just like racing every weekend and being able to train. I'm very lucky, because a normal job is a lot harder than racing. So I need to, be fortunate for what I have, and just to see people type that stuff up and have the, to be behind a keyboard and type that when they don't even see what I do every day. It truly hurts, but they're the people who I feel like are in my corner and good for me, sponsors, Baldwin, people who are like, those people don't even know what they're saying. Right. And that means a lot to me, but I just don't understand why everyone wants to come after me and 98% of the people that I saw don't even know me. Mm-hmm. And I've never talked to them. So it's like, I don't know who they're speaking on or what they're speaking from. But it is what it is. I feel really honored to be on Team USA. Harv Whipple has been, super welcoming and been a good person for me. Just, he's the referee, but he's also, someone that I, trust what they say, believe what he says. And Mark has been great as well. I know I use him, but he's also a straightforward guy. I don't think it matters if you use him or not. But to see the support from the people that really mean a lot to me, it truly is amazing. And this is something that I wanted to do since 2017. I think I was 16 or 17 years old. My brother went to the first race, and then I went 2 years ago. And I wanted to be on the team. I was never sure if I would, because there's so many options. And to be selected, it's the greatest thing that I've been a part of, other than, just like what we do. But for someone else to choose me, it really means a lot to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, the people that were commenting on the internet, people like that don't matter. That they don't know you. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what all goes into this. They don't matter, because anybody that truly knows what it takes to get where you are, they would never say anything cross like that. The other thing, and this is a conversation that we had on shows like this, but you can't, doesn't matter what you come from or whatever, you can't pay your way into finishing third in the AMA ATV Pro class, so that's a topic for another day. What I guess I want to end this part of this conversation on is saying, I think you just have to keep doing exactly what you're doing, because I had said to you before we hit record on this thing that I didn't want to have you on the show in the middle of the year and pile on. I just didn't want to add more to your plate, but I do want you on the show more. And I've always felt this way, because I think, I absolutely, like, you're one of the guys I cheer for. I absolutely love who you are, love what you do for the sport, love that you wear your emotion on your sleeve, love the young man that you are. I love all that stuff. And I think that the more we can hear from you, the more you can just do your thing and people can see what you're about, I think the more people are going to become fans of yours. So I feel like you just got to keep doing what you're doing. I guess this seems like the perfect opportunity to me to ask you what riding for Team USA and representing our great country means to you, because it's the honor of a lifetime. You kind of touched on it there. It's something that you wanted to do for years and years, but man, I can't imagine. And this is something I said to Chad. I remember in the past, I might've said it to Joel as well, but just to think, like, this big, beautiful country that we live in, that we come from, the greatest country in the world. I know you're proud of that. No doubt, but this big, giant country, land of opportunity, all these things. And to think that, our group, you three riders and your crews, are going across the pond to represent this big, giant country. You're representing our country on, behalf of our ATV community. Like, what a freaking honor. I mean, the more you think about it, it's literally the coolest thing. I mean, I'm just so stoked, because it wasn't that long ago that Quad Cross of Nations as an American wasn't a thing. Like, it was on nobody's radar. And the fact that it is now, and you're, right in the time period where you're able to go do this, man, like, what a dream come true. It really is. I can't imagine what that feels like.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with you. And I got some tears in my eyes when Harv said that I was going to be on a team. It really means everything to me. I've trained, I've been through a lot with just myself injuries, and just to see my hard work and to get chosen for Team USA, I'm really excited. And I mean, I'm taking this serious. I'm doing really long motos. Like, I'm gonna put everything I have out there. If you see me get tired at a national, like this isn't gonna show there. I can promise you that. I'm riding with a lot of pride on my shoulders, just to represent everyone so well. And I know we have a great series of riders and great backing from a lot of people. So I'm going to do my best to represent. I'm going to do everything that I can, no matter, if we're 10, 20, 25, 30 minutes in. Yeah. I mean, this is just an honor, like you said, of a lifetime. And this is an opportunity, this could be the only one I get. I could get 10 more, but I'm going to take this one super special for me. I'm going to be focused when I'm there racing. But it's super special to me. And this is something that I'll never forget, and to represent, obviously, the thousands of racers in the US, it really means a lot to me. And that's why I just get so hurt when people, make those comments. I just want to, bring everyone together and make this sport big. And that's what I plan on doing is representing the US really well over there. Handling business like we do here. And it's super cool to see that Mark Baldwin's the manager, because me and him get to work really close every weekend. And then to get Casey over there to be my mechanic, it just means a lot to me. And to have most of my family over there, just this whole experience, it's super cool to see that we're going so far away, but so many people are going there to support, and to see that we can do this is the community we are, and we never give up, and we find a way to make it happen. So it really means a lot to me. And like you said, this just came about not too long ago. So for me to even dream about it on a 50 wasn't a thing, but to see me at 20 years old going over there and being able to do this, it's truly awesome.
Hey, and the best part of it all is all those people that commented whatever they wanted to comment on the internet on the 24th and 25th of this month, they're going to be cheering for you. No doubt in my mind, they're going to be cheering for you. They have no choice. Like I said, there's people, I mean, I had been saying on these shows, like, love him or hate him, on that weekend, he's our guy. He's your guy. So there's no doubt. I mean, they got to cheer for you on that weekend, pal. That's got to be a cool feather in your cap too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's another thing. Like, if they hate, I mean, it sucks, because I feel like they really don't, know what I try to do for the sport, and just the things that I do at the racetrack for the little kids and just anyone. But it is what it is. I want to, be there for everyone who supports me, and I want to support everyone who supports me. So it really means a lot to me, to the people that stick up for me. And I see the comments of the people who, are there for me, and it really means a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'm going over there for everyone, and I'm going to do my best. And I plan on making it happen. But this is an awesome experience, an awesome opportunity for me.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, in our country, I know you're a sports guy, like you're into sports and stuff. And in our country, sports is a great representative of it. It's in other things too, but we build people up. And then when they get to the top of the mountain or near it, we like to tear them down. And then we, our country, just the way things are, we want to see them fail. And if you weren't doing something right, people wouldn't want to see you fail. So I feel like, again, look at, I always use the example of Chad. Chad was a 10th place guy. And, then when he started, kind of creeping up there and winning and shocking the world like he did in 2006 and 2007, when he got that Suzuki ride in 2007, he shocks the world, and everybody wanted to see him succeed. And then he succeeds to a level that nobody would ever think he would, and wins all these titles. And for how many years now? And I love Joel and I love Chad. I love them both, but Chad's been the guy on top of the mountain. He's won 8 championships, and it's like everybody wants to see him fail. And that just means you're doing something right. If you weren't as successful, as talented, as great of a rider as you are, people wouldn't even want to see you fail. So I think it's kind of just a pat on the back. It's kind of just man, you're doing something right. And eventually, if you keep doing exactly what you're doing now, you're going to earn those people over as fans. I have no doubt in my mind. So don't think too much about what they're doing. Like I said, I was hoping you could use some of those crappy comments as fuel for, podiums and, maybe a potential win, something like that. But at the end of the day, I don't think that you should put too much stock in that. I think that you're going to earn them over, as you go here.
Insurance. It's not something everyone likes to talk about, but let's face it, if you race motocross, it's something you should have. Integrated Financial Concepts is an independent financial service and insurance firm who offers moto-friendly insurance and helps out riders like Nick Janusa, Jeffrey Rastrelli, and Joel Hetrick gain confidence on the track. With their unique Safe to Race and Safe to Ride programs, if you qualify, they have the ability to offer life insurance with living benefits to those who ride. With these living benefits, you may have the ability to access a portion of your life insurance policy while you're still living, for things like cancer, heart attack, stroke, or chronic illness. They can also help with many other things, such as home, auto, motorhome, and trailer insurance, as well as college planning, special needs planning, payroll processing, as well as group health benefits for your business. So whether something happens on or off the track, Integrated Financial Concepts has you covered. With their complimentary one-on-one appointments, what are you waiting for? Reach out to Mike Daniele at DANIELE_Michael at NLGroupmail.com today and see how Integrated Financial Concepts can help you. Living benefit riders are supplemental benefits that can be added to a life insurance policy and are not suitable unless you have the need for life insurance. Riders are optional and may require additional premium and may not be available in all states or on all products. This is not a solicitation for any specific insurance policy.
Just like the sport of ATV motocross as a whole, our Digging Deep community is brought together by the love for racing that we all share. Our sport is compiled of many great people, and leading that charge is the Launderville family at Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply. This racing-owned family business is a steel and concrete supplier serving the entire United States. Launderville Steel is a full-service steel supplier of new and surplus steel, aluminum, and stainless steel products, headlined by their 4130 chromoly tubing and plate used in the building of chassis for ATVs and UTVs, off-road truck racing, late model dirt and pro tractor pulling series, drag racing, and more. Launderville Steel loves their racing just as much as we do, but don't forget about their concrete division as well. With over 25 years of experience, the Concrete Division can supply everything you need to complete your next business or personal project. Their central Midwest location enables LSE to easily serve customers across the United States. For a quote, additional info, answers to more of your questions, or to talk a little racing, head over to laundervillesteel.com or give them a call today. We are proud to be partnered with yet another racer-owned company. Thank you, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply. Here at Digging Deep, we have an obvious passion for ATVs and pridefully enjoy sharing the sport's history. Since 2019, when the podcast was born, we've been working to partner with individuals who share our passion, but one man and his vision had been missing from our partnership group. Until now. When it comes to the sport's history, the hallowed grounds of Binky's Forever ATC Museum has it all. Binky Tapscott's mind-blowing collection of 3- and 4-wheelers has preserved history by spanning all makes and models, from Honda 3-wheelers in chronological order to unique builds that shaped ATV racing as we know it, like Doug Gust's iconic DRZ-powered hybrid thumper and everything in between. There's no denying Binky's passion, a passion that we certainly relate to here at Digging Deep. Binky's goal is to share his amazing collection with fellow enthusiasts by making his prized possessions accessible to the public via scheduled visits. Follow Forever ATC Museum on Facebook and watch foreveratc.com for further updates on possibly getting a chance to see Binky's Forever ATC Museum for yourself. We are proud to welcome Binky's Forever ATC Museum to the Digging Deep family. We recite on every Digging Deep episode that we are all about aligning with others who share our passion and love for ATVs, and that's exactly what Blendzall is. For more than 60 years, Blendzall Racing Oil has been the secret choice of many championship-winning riders and engine builders. From World Championship kart racing in Europe to California Speedway racing or the mud and rocks of East Coast cross-country racing, thousands of hardcore racers know that nothing out-lubricates or outperforms Blendzall. Even with Blendzall's wide reach into all forms of racing, Blendzall's lead man David Schloss admits that ATV riders are his people. In fact, he's been an ATV enthusiast since 1986 when he first threw a leg over a Suzuki Quad Sport 230. Fun fact, his passion for ATV racing even led him to launch a popular ATV racing magazine in the mid-2000s called ATV Insider. So Blendzall is a small family-owned business that blends and bottles all of its products in Ohio and has ATV roots. Sign us up. That's why Blendzall is the oil choice of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. To learn more about Blendzall's rich heritage or to shop Blendzall's full line of 2T and 4T racing lubricants, visit Blendzall.com and follow them at Blendzall on Instagram. Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant. The best power sports coolant on the market, Evans prevents overheating and boilover so you need not worry about harming your engine or suffering a premature end to your ride no matter what the conditions. Designed for use in ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, and other power sports equipment, when conditions are at their worst, Evans is at its best. Upgrade to Evans now to avoid overheating and boilover next time you hit the track or trail. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 at checkout to save at evanscoolant.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to support our partners. Now back to the show. So have you envisioned, I'm a big picture things ahead of time kind of guy. I don't know why. I just like to kind of think things or whatever into existence. I try to manifest them. So have you envisioned what this Czech Republic trip is going to be like? I mean, you've been part of these, you saw Quad Cross of Nations races as a spectator. So maybe you kind of know what to expect. I'm sure you have some kind of vision in your head, but have you envisioned what this trip is going to be like? Because even the Euro fans, man, they've seen Chad, they've seen Joel, but they've never seen you ride in person. There's going to be some excitement around that too, as people get to see you ride for the first time. So that's going to be a cool thing too.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And that's one thing that me, Joel, and Chad talked about, just the fans over there just, love racing. And it's a little bit different when the U.S. goes because they know it's a pretty solid team. So just to go on one of the best teams, it's something really cool. And that's one thing that I actually do a lot of is manifest things.
Okay.
And I I haven't came up with a, something in my head of what the day's going to go like, but I just see us, making it happen and just it all going really well. I don't know about quality, just what the track's like or any of that. I've seen a video, but I'm just super positive about it and just really believe in myself. And I know if I ride the way I can, that, good things are going to happen. So I'm just saying super positive with it. The one thing I want to make sure I do good is the jet lag. We've been looking at some things and got something planned out, but I just want to make sure the jet lag isn't too bad, but I'm going over there a week early. So I'm going to make sure that's good, make sure my sleeping's good. And then everything else I think will fall into place. I'm just going to be super focused and treat it like a legitimate race against, the 20 best guys like I do at an ATV national race. But it's just, yeah, there's so much I could go into. It's just like, it's such a cool thing and such a cool event to ride as a team with all those guys. But yeah, so I'm just going to stay focused. I believe that we can make it happen. I believe I can do my part, and it's all going to go good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'm getting more and more excited sitting here talking about it. I can't wait. So stateside, getting back to stuff on American soil here. So stateside, what a perfect way to end the season with you three Team USA members sweeping the podium at Loretta's 1, 2, 3. Now we know you went into Loretta's into the finale there, facing a little bit of a deficit, trying to chase down Brandon Hoag in that battle for third in the points. You kind of touched on Brandon and all that stuff. You basically kind of talked about exactly what you did on the podium. I mean, you talked about how great of a competitor he was, how great of a season he had, all these things, which I think is something that we touched on these shows that you said that. I think that, people didn't necessarily focus on the fact that you built Brandon up as you were standing on the podium there. That's something that Casey and I discussed on the show. But tell me a little bit about this protest situation. And the reason why I'm asking is because, you said as much that it was your last card to play. There was no bad intentions, kind of meant by it. I thought it was super respectable on your part to get ahead of it and say, hey, yeah, this happened, but Brandon was awesome. It was my last move. I really wanted third place in points. Like I took it as, man, what an honorable thing to do. Maybe, I mean, hindsight being 2020, maybe the podium wasn't the place to do it, but as a pro rider in our sport, like other than coming on our show or posting a video on Instagram, like that's really your only chance to talk to the public like that. I don't know. I thought it was a really respectful thing to do, to say that. I thought, all the compliments you had for Brandon Hoag was super cool of you. But just wanted to give you an opportunity to touch on that, because I thought, like, that whole thing just seemed to spiral out of control for whatever reason, and it wasn't warranted or necessary. So whatever you want to say about that, man, I'll give you the opportunity. But again, like, I don't know, I thought it came from a great place, and I was upset that people were basically like saying anything but. Like, for me, it was like, man, everything he was saying was coming from a great place. So yeah, I'll give you the floor on that.
Yeah, no. So like I said on the podium, and before I even go into that, actually, we just got done with a 25 or 18 plus 2 moto. If you go back and look at interviews in the past history of just racing in general, a lot of people can't even function up there.
Right.
So I might not have said everything dead on, spot on, perfect. But long story short, I protested Brandon Hoag for the sound. Something that I've been following all year. Joel's followed all year. Chad's followed all year. There were multiple people, and I saw it for my own eyes. There were multiple races where they tested for sound and it had an insert in it, and then that insert went missing. I don't know what happened with it. I don't, I'm not here to sit here and accuse him. But it was it. It was it. Sunset, and then at Redbud, there's pictures and videos from someone that they're stuffing beach towels in the intake. And when I was around back in the day, someone did that to pass sound. Okay. And to see him pass sound, and then, I'm sure those towels were taken out. They weren't raced with at Loretta's. I knew that they would probably, do everything straightforward, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be, that one guy to protest him over that, because I don't really want to win that way. And at Loretta's, there were some people who really wanted to see and make sure that he was legit. And that's what happened. And I feel like I really tried my best at Loretta's. I went 3-3. I didn't have the best year, but I honestly, if I could go back, I wouldn't do it, just because the people don't know the whole story, and a lot of people have a lot of things to say. But I really think that people get mistaken, because if I was to do that, if I was to take an insert out of my exhaust or not have a legal exhaust, I promise you my bike wouldn't be on the track. And I don't just say that because I think people don't like me. I know that for a fact. And I know that Joel Hetrick and Chad Wienen would never cheat with an exhaust, because there's no reason to. Okay. And I'm not calling out the exhaust guy. I think he's a great guy. Chad Reed, I talked to him on the gate. I think he's a good guy. I didn't protest his exhaust to get at Chad Reed or to get at the pipe. I think them helping Hogan to see that exhaust on a top 3 bike is something super cool rather than just a mass-produced exhaust. So, I mean, I really respect, you know, the whole team, Brett Music, for everything he did for Hoag. I don't have anything against any of them. Brendan Hoag, like I said on the podium, he's an amazing rider. Do I think the exhaust beat me? Absolutely not. It was the rider. And I'm not like, I don't have an exact answer of, you know, was it the right thing to do? Yes and no. Do I want to sit with 4th in the back of my head for, you know, 6 months? Absolutely not. But I'm going to, you know, if I believe he's cheating and if he has cheated, I don't think it's right to win like that. And does it make a huge difference? No. But if I did it, it wouldn't go by. So I just, you know, wanted to make sure that he was following the rules, and he was. So be it. He won. He might have got, you know, money for it, or it just shows that, hey, their exhaust can pass sound. I don't see the problem with it. If someone protested me and I was legal, it is what it is. I would personally tell everyone, if I ever saw that, people bashing another pro, because I know how hard all of us work, I would never, ever want to see people bash someone because they don't like that person's opinion on what the situation was. I mean, straight up, you know, me and Hoag have had good battles. I don't have a problem with him. I texted Brandon because he posted something on his story a little bit later, and I was just sort of like, you know, I wanted to see it die. I don't want to just see stuff linger on in our sport and more negativity for people to feed off of, just because we're already so small. And like I said, I really want to bring the community together, and I want to see us grow as an individual, because going to like the Paula or Ironman, the sport's so big, and some of that stuff is so private, what goes on. And that's, I think we're a little bit too vocal on a lot of the negative stuff rather than the positives. And I respect Brandon. Like, we sponsored him last year, 2 years ago. We gave him everything that I had for a practice program. Like, I personally and my family don't have a problem with him. If he needed something or you know, needed a hand, you know, whatever he needs, I would really help him. I really would. So I don't have a problem with him, and I know a lot of people had a lot to say about that, but going into that, I saw a lot of people, 98% of the people, again, you know, had never been to the race, or they're just, you know, an E-score fan that just watch lap times and don't truly know what goes into racing. So it probably wasn't the right thing for me to do there on the podium, but I just don't want the stuff lingering in the pits. Hey, Bryce Ford tried to protest Brandon. I wanted to be straight up. Hey, I protested Brandon, you know, this is the deal. I didn't say it exactly right. And I really haven't even thought about it after Loretta's. So I don't have, like, you know, all the ins and outs of you know, and I don't want to say some of the things that went on. But he did not have the insert in it, Sunset. He didn't have it in, or he's sticking rags in it, Redbud. And that's just facts. If you want to believe it or not, you know, that's up to them or you. But I really, you know, like I said, Brandon's a great rider. I do not think the exhaust beat me. I think, you know, he had a great season. We both had some rough races, and unfortunately I lost by 3 or 4 points. But it was tough to see at Loretta's with me going 3-3, and I manifested that. I told myself I was going to do the best I could, and to go 3-3, it was super cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you know me well enough to know, like, I didn't ask you to bring up any past, you know, drama or anything. I was only asking, I know that, but I was only asking you because I wanted you to have an opportunity to comment on it, because we haven't really heard you comment on it since then. And again, I wanted the opportunity to double down and say, hey, I thought it came from a good place, and I respect the shit out of you for doing what you did, because I knew what you were doing. You were getting ahead of it, so that, just like you said, people couldn't go back to the pits and say, hey, Bryce Ford did this or did that. I thought it came from a great place. So I was proud of you.
And just really quick. So I saw something in a Facebook group, and what I thought was really funny is they took, and I'm sure someone might do it in this as well. So I spoke up there for 5 minutes, let's say. They took a 25-second clip of all the negative stuff I said about the protest and the exhaust, and they posted that.
Yeah,
but they didn't post the a minute 30 where I absolutely, respect Brandon Hoag. I tell him, he's a great athlete. He's a great person.
Yep.
He's done well. They take the parts that they want and just run with it. And it is what it is. I'm going to be me, and I have a great group behind me. So that's what pushes me to race, and the people who appreciate what I do and want to see me succeed. I respect them, and I'm there for them. And the kids that come up to me and, want my autograph when people make it feel like it's nothing. It means a lot to me. And those are the people that push me through, on, when there's not really much to, be excited about after a rough weekend or whatever. So it bothered me at the time, but now looking back at it and where my mental state's at now, it is what it is. A lot of people have never been in that situation. They never will be. So I just got to take it and do what I want to do with it and just make the most of it. And it is what it is at this point.
Yep. I mean, there's some people out there that you just you're not going to please no matter what you do. So bingo, I think you hit the nail on the head there. So that's a great way to kind of end that. So last question for you, pal. You kind of touched on it already about being burnt out at some times in the past and stuff. So it was late in the off season this past spring, and I was hearing these, rumblings that people on the inside didn't even know if you were going to be racing this year. It seemed like maybe things came together late. So I don't know what all that was about, but can you confirm you'll be back next year? I think you can, based on some of the stuff that you're saying, this mental coach, this growth, all these things you're touching on. I think it sounds like you're in such a great place mentally, physically, just kind of your outlook on things. Are you going to be back next year? Can you confirm that for us?
I can 100% confirm that. If nothing happens to the body, no, but I'm going to be back, and I plan on making strides like I did this season. I'm not sure on the schedule, but I'm for sure going to be back, and I'm not going to take much time off this year around, just because I felt like I got such a late start. But yeah, no, I'll be back. It was just super cool to see this season, the progress I made, and I felt like coming into Daytona, I was the least fit person there. But to see the results when I was running third and then I got second, it was super cool to see. It's an easier cardio race for sure, and easier on the body. But no, I'll be back, and I'm going to take this pretty serious this time around. And I've truly committed to this sport, and all the people that help me, they know that I'm in this till I can't do it or till I win. So we're all on the same page. Mark knows that, and the people that matter to me know that. So I'm truly excited to keep doing this and to be able to race at 20, 21 years old. It was never, planned out to be this, but it's a dream and something that I'm very excited to live in and just try to make a legacy of my name and just do the best that I can do.
Dude, you're on your way there. I think that's why I wanted to ask that question is, when it was a couple weeks before Daytona, and I was hearing, are we sure Bryce is racing? And I'm like, man, I couldn't picture the class without you, with all the potential you have, with all the talent you have, with all that you add to the class. I mean, when you were going to the pro class, that was the most excited I had ever been. Maybe since I think I was more excited than when Cody Gibson went pro, to see how you were going to compete with these guys. How are you going to fit into the pro class? I was so excited to see it. And still to this day, that's how it is. And then, you have such a killer support system. Your program is amazing. Your facility is great. Obviously you have this built-in kind of advantage with your brother, another top tier pro racer to kind of compete with, and all the stuff that he puts into your program. Your parents are awesome. The Harris family is awesome. Is all in. I mean, she's a key player in all this, and you're basically like your right-hand man. That's not the right way to say it, but she's right by your side, supporting you through this whole thing. You have everything, including the speed, to be a race winner and a champion, and your time is coming. I truly believe that. So that's why I wanted to make sure you were going to be back, pal, because I think the future is so bright. We've said that countless times, but even this year, I mean, I thought you took another stride, and man, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. It's going to be so fun to watch.
No, I really appreciate that, Cody. And that means a lot to me to see that people, the ones that actually know what's going on, see how it is. And like you said, Izza and the Harris family and my parents and just everyone, Mark, Mike Walsh, JB, they all do so much for me. And it truly means a lot because there's, it just means everything to me. And I'm very excited to represent these companies, and I'm going to do everything that I can to push as hard as I can. And now I feel like I'm on a steady path up. It's not, I'm all over the place or at the, bottom of the, my game. But I'm super confident. I'm just, like I said, I'm enjoying all this and everyone who helps me. Like you said, it's a great team. I'm excited. I feel like we have a really good team here, and I'm going to make the most of it. And it really means a lot to me for you to have me on this show. And just, the words that you said, man, they mean a lot to me, and it really makes me feel good.
Well, we sure are proud of you, pal. I hope that first win of your pro career can come while representing Team USA. We have no doubt in our minds, in my mind, that you're going to slay it. I've been saying it, since we knew you were going to the Czech Republic. I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to slay it alongside your legendary teammates, and you're going to bring that trophy back home. We can't wait to see it, buddy. I'm proud of you. And man, after you slay it across the pond, look for a call from me, because I would love to have you back on the show here to talk about it, pal. This has been awesome. I love every time we talk, whether it's in person or on these podcast interviews. I love it. Like I've been saying, I'm a fan of yours for sure. And look for a call from me, because I'd love to have you back on the show to talk about a win for Team USA, pal.
Heck yeah, I'll be back for sure. But that would be super awesome, and that's our goal for sure.
You're the man. I can't wait. That's Team USA representative Bryce Ford right here on the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. Thanks so much for your time, buddy. Always an honor to sit here with you, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Yeah, I'm super excited to go overseas, and I'm definitely going to get back on here once we come back and take care of business. So I hope everyone enjoys, and thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks so much, pal. Till next time. Man, another rad episode in the books. I truly enjoy both of those guys. How could you not cheer for those two? I love it. Thanks to producer Dallas Jansen, my brother, for all his hard work. Thanks to Brooke and AMA official Harv Whipple. Thanks to all of our donors. You know who you are. We appreciate you so much. Thanks to all of our partners. CST Tires. Go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thanks to SSI Decals, DID Racing Chain, Namura Technologies, Bronco ATV and UTV Components, Impact Solutions, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, the financial advice of the Haymauer Financial Group, Forworks Carbon, DP Brakes, Factory 43, Integrated Financial Concepts and their Safe to Race and Safe to Ride insurance programs, Binky's Forever ATC Museum, Blendzall Oil, the official oil choice of Digging Deep, Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant, Walsh Racecraft, and Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DiggingDeep20 at manscaped.com. Support the brands that support our show, and don't forget to use those codes to save. You can find it all on our website, and be sure to click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner for all your gear and parts needs and to help us out. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. Our show merchandise, including our new Red Hot Legends Never Die tees, are all available at shop.diggingdeepatvmx.com, so check that out. This new merch drop is so rad. And if you're looking for another easy way to help support us, visit our website and click the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee buttons. This allows you to set up a one-time or monthly contribution to support our efforts. You can also give us a call using our voicemail line. Give us your reaction to the show, the races, and or everything in between, so we can play them on the show and react to what you have to say. That number is 920-569-3519. We want to hear from you, so give us a call. Follow the show on social media, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, and myself, Cody Jansen, for additional content, coverage, and more fun stuff as we transition into the off season. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. Wherever you find podcasts, you'll find the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. All episodes, additional podcast providers, sponsor links and discount codes, show merchandise, fantasy info, and more can all be found on our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com, so check that out today. Be a friend, tell a friend, please download, subscribe, rate, review, and share. And with that, for Brandon Hoag, Bryce Ford, Brooke Catherine, Dallas Jansen, and I'm your host, Cody Jansen. Thanks for listening to and making us the #1 podcast in ATV racing with over 175,000 downloads last month in 94 total countries. Until next time, thanks for joining us in Digging Deep with the Stars of ATV Motocross. I'll see you next week for a Quad Cross of Nations preview show. Things are crashing and burning here at the Digging Deep podcast, much like the Titanic.
Those guys were hauling ass, for real.
I remember watching Doug Gus, I don't know who it was, Steel City, running the same times Friday afternoon as James Stewart was on Sunday back then. It was mental. I've never seen quads go that fast.
Quad dudes are freaking gnarly.